Hey guys, this is going to be a review of Star Trek Discovery Season 2, Episode 3, Point of Light. In this episode, Tilly continues to see May, even though she knows that May is dead, and so she figures that whatever she's seeing must be a hallucination, and May gets scary pretty quickly because it's very clear that she wants something. I was actually kind of surprised at how quickly the other characters learned that Tilly was seeing May, because I thought that it would be drawn out longer. But I also found it really interesting that Michael basically immediately figures out that Tilly isn't hallucinating, because hallucinating does seem like the most likely answer to what's happening, more likely than a fungus getting inside of you and controlling your brain like that. It is kind of a weird storyline, I would say, the idea that this fungus can get inside and communicate with you like that. But I think I'm gonna save really talking about that storyline until the next several episodes when more things happen. We get to see Amanda in this episode. She has stolen Spock's medical file and wants Michael's help hacking into it and figuring out where Spock is. I really like the moment where Pike calls Michael bossy and Amanda says on Vulcan we call it persistent, because that was a great moment. But we quickly find out that Spock is wanted for murder because he has apparently murdered 3 of his doctors, but Pike, Michael, and Amanda are all immediately sure that Spock didn't actually do it. But we also find out that Spock has seen the Red Angel, the same figure that Michael did, and that the Red Angel actually told him where Michael was when she ran away as a child. So we have a stronger connection between the Red Angel and Michael now. We also find out that Michael did something to hurt Spock as a child to keep him away from her because she was trying to protect him. But we don't get many details about that in this episode, but I do remember the first time I watched this episode, I was probably more intrigued about that and what went down between the two of them than I even was the Red Angel stuff at this point. Obviously there's a lot of mystery there, but just like the May storyline, I'm gonna wait to talk about it till later because obviously I know what happens, and I will have a lot more to say when we reach the point where we actually start finding things out in the episodes. I think Ash has the most interesting storyline in this episode, the one that I personally find the most interesting, at least. Michael and Ash are probably my OTP for Discovery. I really enjoy their dynamics, so I was excited to see them interact in this episode. It's a awkward scene, things are pretty awkward between them, but I appreciated that we got it and that they're kind of helping each other even from a distance. I also really enjoyed seeing all of the political drama with the Klingons. I just find political storylines really fascinating a lot of the time, and seeing it with the Klingons is especially fascinating to me, and it makes sense to me that they would be kind of hesitant about Ash. In season 1, I wasn't a huge fan of Laurel, but I think this episode was the point in the story where I started to find her more interesting. I still don't know if I would say that I like her so much. It depends on what you mean by necessarily. I don't want to be friends with her or anything, but as how she's written and as a character, I feel like this is the point where she started really becoming interesting to me. Her role in the plot was interesting before, I guess, but this is the point in time where I feel like I started becoming more intrigued about her and not just her role in other people's lives, if that makes sense. And we find out in this episode that Laurel and Voq had a baby, and Laurel hasn't actually seen the baby and she's been keeping him from Ash. Basically some things happen and Laurel has to pretend like Ash killed their son and then she killed Ash, and she pledges her that she's never going to get married or have a kid, which is very interesting to me because like that's an actual like historical thing that has happened. Like Queen Elizabeth the first, not the current one, like never got married. And there are other like historical instances of that, of women being leaders and not getting married and instead presenting the country as like their children in order to be taken legitimately as rulers, because women are supposed to be mothers. And like I just like, I thought it was really cool that they did that, like in a sad way. It's a sad thing. The whole storyline is very tragic and sad, but like also I just like, I thought it was really interesting that they went there with that and like did that. I mean, it's kind of sad that this is supposed to take place in the future, admittedly with Klingons and not like humans and us, but like it's still sad that in the future that's a thing that's still happening. We get to see the Emperor slash the Terran version of Georgiou in this episode too, and I was really excited about that because she is probably my favorite character, and I wasn't expecting her to be in season 2, so when she showed up I was really excited about it, and I did not feel disappointed by her role in this episode either. And I was very intrigued by the idea of seeing more of Section 31 and of Ash being in Section 31. Honestly, the first time I watched this episode, I think I was so excited by Georgiou appearing again and like seeing Section 31 that it almost overshadowed how sad it was that they had to leave the baby at the monastery to never see his parents again. And I feel really bad for forgetting the actor's name, but the like leader of Section 31 is King Henry from Reign and also Valentine from Shadowhunters, so seeing him was kind of jarring. I've gotten so used to him as Valentine in Shadowhunters now that I almost forget that he played King Henry on Reign sometimes, which is saying something because that was the first role I saw him in, I think, and like I love Reign, but like he's very firmly Valentine in my head now. So seeing Valentine was unexpected. I did not realize he was going to be in Discovery, and I was very surprised but also intrigued about how that would go as well. So by the end of this episode, the first time I watched it, I was pretty excited to see what would happen next, and now rewatching it, I feel basically the same way. Like even though I know what happens, there are still like a lot of things in the coming episodes that I really like, and like I'm excited to watch them again after watching this episode. There are also some things I'm not as excited to see again, to be honest, but I will talk about those when they happen and not spoil them in this video. So I will see you guys later. Bye.